No, writing the book was always the furthest thing from my mind. But it really came out last year talking with people about the idea of stewardship investing. And to be honest, it was almost like I was sick to my stomach and had to vomit out the things that were inside of me. God had just put a lot inside of me that I felt really needed to be better explained to people about our role as stewardship, especially in the areas of investing. So that's how it happened. And I started writing, and the whole book, 16 chapters, was written in about 8 weeks. Yeah, the book is for just the average Christian who wants to align their investment portfolio with God's eternal purposes. We've been taught that investing is about financial competence and about meeting our own needs, whether it's having an emergency reserve or paying for kids' college or a retirement fund that gives us financial independence. But we have to ask ourselves if those specific goals really align with God's eternal objectives. And so I've learned a lot about that over 30 years as a financial advisor, and specifically the last 15 working with missional businesses all around the world. I've recognized that even as a financial advisor, my guidance for people didn't necessarily line up with biblical truths about how we should manage our financial resources. Boy, they're all good. The middle chapters, chapter 11 and 12, get a little bit more detailed about how to construct a portfolio that aligns with God's objectives and invests in missional projects. But I think my favorite chapter is the last chapter, where I talk about what is our end goal for the resources that God has entrusted to us. People like John Wesley have become great examples for me that I want to follow, and I think the last chapter is the one that's most challenging for those of us who think that investing is about financial competence. But I've come to believe that stewardship investing is really about how do we completely deploy our resources so that God is glorified and so that His objectives are accomplished. Yeah, there's a few Hebrew words that are worth exploring here that deal with justice, mercy, and righteousness. Mishpat is a word that is used for justice, and it has to do with punishing those things that are needing to be punished and doing good things for those who need good things to be done. A second word is Zedek, which really means righteousness. We hear that word as the root of King Melchizedek, who was the king of righteousness. When these two words come together, it really forms what might be termed today as social justice. But what I find interesting about that is the Hebrew word shalom, which means, generally we think it's peace, but it's actually a completeness that takes those two words. And if everybody lived in the state of righteousness, as explained by Zedek, there would be complete shalom, and there would be no need for mishpat, that justice would prevail naturally. So how would the world be different if we deployed our financial resources in ways that bring about justice, mercy, and righteousness? As Proverbs tells us, cities will rejoice, meaning that everybody will have what they need. It gives us a glimpse of heaven. It gives us a glimpse of the early church that was described in the book of Acts. That's what my hope would be, that as people adopt the principles in the book, that their investing would become more righteous. I've felt a calling to serve God in whatever vocation I've been in since my 20s, and I've been in the career of financial services. But I think what has really changed in my calling is a desire to see capital move from where it's in abundance and hoarded to places where it's in short supply. Not just because people need it in other places, but I really do that because I believe that that's how we can advance the kingdom of heaven here on earth.